Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video. Hope you're all doing well. So next week is Adepticon 2024, and as usual with Adepticon, there's going to be some miniature reveals. So there's a reveal show happening on Wednesday the 20th of March. It's going to be 10 PM Central Time, which I believe is 8 PM Pacific Time. But for those of us over in the UK, it's actually going to be early morning on Thursday the 21st at 3 AM. So you're going to have to get up really early or stay up quite late if you want to watch the reveals over in the UK. But as usual, there's going to be reveals for Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40,000, Warcry, Warhammer Underworlds, Warhammer The Old World, and Kill Team as well. They've also said there's going to be some special teases for Necromunda and Warhammer the Horus Heresy, so perhaps not full reveals for those two, maybe just some hints at what might be coming for those game systems in the future. But in this video we'll have a bit of a prediction, see if we can guess what's coming for each game system, as well as look at some leaks that appeared last week as well. But let's start off with Warhammer 40,000. So for 40k, we've seen the Codex roadmap. We know that Orcs, Custodes and the Tower are all coming. We've seen new miniatures revealed for those. And then also next up is Chaos Space Marines, Genestealer Cults and Sisters of Battle. And then there's that redacted Codex, or Codex supplement. And some people were saying it might be Emperor's Children, but we've had a leak last week which strongly hints at Agents of the Imperium. So I'll put the link up on the screen now. It looks like it's come from some sort of printer. You can see sort of 2 pages on one massive sheet that are ready to get bound together. And if we zoom in on the right hand side, it says Banish the Demon. And also on the left hand side, it looks like some artwork there, almost reminiscent of a Grey Knight or that old Forge World Inquisitor in Terminator armour, I forget the name. And if we turn it over, you can just see at the bottom of the page it says Rogue Traders and Navigators. So this strongly hints at Agents of the Imperium. Now back in December I did a video about the Codex roadmap and what might be coming, and we looked at some of the teasers and we said it could be that Inquisitor Courtiers could be hinted due to some of the rumour engine images. Then there's been another couple recently. There's some tabards this week that could heavily indicate perhaps Solomon Locke. If we look at his image, it does look very similar, you know, with that dispenser thing there next to his miniature. But then could we be getting an Agents of the Imperium Codex? So Rogue Traders, Imperial Navy Breachers, Voidsmen, Assassins, so the Eversur, the Culexus, Calidus Assassin, Vindicare Assassin, they're all going to be in that book if we're going to be getting Agents of the Imperium. And then as an outside chance, could they also roll in the Death Watch and perhaps even the Grey Knights? For those two, I don't think that would happen. I think those two factions still warrant their own Codex books. Death Watch perhaps you could get away with, but I think Grey Knights would still want to be in their own Codex, and I'm sure the vast majority of Grey Knights players and Death Watch players for that matter would not want to see their factions rolled into one Agents of the Imperium book. But it does look like it could very well be Agents of the Inquisition or Agents of the Imperium from those leaks. However, I wouldn't quite rule out Chaos Space Marines. They may just do a little bit of a hint for something that could be coming for the Chaos Codex. And briefly just moving on to Kill Team, apparently the rumour is the next release is going to be Leagues of Votann, Hernkin Pioneers, but not on the Hovertrikes. It's going to be a unit of the Pioneers actually dismounted, so those guys with the trench coats, the fur hoods and the shotgun style weapons. It's going to be a unit of those up against Genestealer Cults, so an upgrade sprue for the new Cadian kit, so that's quite interesting. But let's move on to what is likely to be the star of the show at Adepticon, Age of Sigmar 4th edition. Now this week, Games Workshop put up an article on Warhammer Community saying Sigmar lied. Specifically, the God King Sigmar lied, everything has its price. So what could that mean? And not only did they put that article up on the Warhammer Community website, there was also an accompanying trailer. So in the trailer, it showed off a view of what could be Azir or some sort of city, and you can hear skittering, you can hear claws scratching, you hear bells tolling, what sounds very much like rats, and then there's a massive bolt of lightning that comes in and it just says Sigmar lied. What could he have lied about? That is the big question. More will be revealed at Adepticon apparently. So could it be that he lied about Azir being safe? Underground, could there be an entire city of rats? The big rumour is, of course, Age of Sigmar 4th edition is going to be Stormcast Eternals versus the Skaven. So updated Skaven. There has been a leak of a push-fit Skaven model, which I'll put up on the screen now just so you can see it. But the big rumour is Stormcast Eternals versus Skaven for 4th edition AOS. And it seems to be this theme, Sigmar lied. So what did he lie about? Could it be that the reforging process is not let on it, you know, everything that could be told about the reforging process. The Stormcast know what they're signing up for want of a better phrase, when it comes to being a Stormcast Eternal. They're not chosen for their martial prowess or their fighting strength, they're chosen for their selflessness. They know what they're getting into by becoming a Stormcast. Each time they reforge, a little bit of them is lost, so on and so forth. But could it be that Sigmar kept something from them? Has he held something back? Somebody did put an extremely dark theory up on the internet the other day in the comments on the Warhammer podcast, saying that could it be that Sigmar's been using elements of their soul to power himself with each reforging? I think that's very dark, and that would be quite a cool angle, but I'm not sure Games Workshop would actually go down that road. However, there has been some leaks as well. Now, it doesn't actually confirm that it is a Stormcast versus Skaven, but I'll put the links up on the screen now, or the leaks up on the screen now, so you can see them. So on these pictures you can see what looks like the new rulebook, both the standard edition rulebook and what looks like it could be the collector's edition rulebook as well. And then there's also another picture showing off the Mortal Realms, so presumably it'll just be pages from the big rulebook talking about the Mortal Realms, you know, all the lore in the background and stuff. And also there was some other images as well, what could be maps and possibly even an image of a rat ogre, but we can't quite see that on the pictures. So I think AOS, the big trailer for 4th edition is going to drop at Adepticon. I'm almost sure of that, and I do believe it is going to be Skaven versus Stormcast Eternals. But the big question, of course, is what did Sigmar lie about? Let me know in the comments, what do you think Sigmar lied about? Could it be about the safety of Azir? Could it be something to do with the reforging process? Could it be something completely different? Or could it be that there's no rats underground? What are you talking about? How preposterous. Could it be that there's rats under Azir? That would be absolutely immense if that's the case. But I'm sure we'll find out next week. But yeah, I think AOS 4th edition, that's going to be the star of the show. And I'm sure there'll be something cool in terms of what Sigmar lied about. Hopefully it's not lame. Hopefully they've come up with something really awesome. But anyway, that's enough for AOS 4th edition. Let's move on to Warhammer The Old World. So we already know that the Orcs and Goblin Tribes Battalion is coming for Warhammer The Old World. We saw those at Warhammer World on the release day for the game Warhammer The Old World. So we know the Orcs and Goblins are coming next. But who will be after that? I believe it's going to be the Dwarfs. Now, we had a little bit of a leak already. We had the Dwarf and Mountain Hulls dice set previewed from somewhere. So I think Dwarfs are up next because we've had a baddie faction in terms of the Orcs and Goblins. So I think the Dwarfs are going to be the next one. Could possibly be High Elves, or it could be the Wood Elves, but I think it is going to be a good faction rather than an evil faction, and I think Dwarves are definitely going to be the next one that we're going to see. So hopefully, just like the Orcs and Goblins Tribes Battalion box, there's going to be a Dwarf box. Maybe it'll have some of the miniatures from Battle of Skull Pass in there, and also some of the more recent miniatures, because still to this day on the Games Workshop website, you can still buy some of those Dwarf miniatures that were around at the end of the Fantasy before they killed it with the end times. Some of those Dwarf miniatures are still available, so I think Old World, they're going to show us the next faction that's coming, and I do believe it's going to be the Dwarfs. But let me know in the comments, what do you think? Who do you think might be coming next for the Old World? And I'll be eager to see what you think about that. Let's move on now to the teasers that they mentioned, so we'll start with Necromunda. This one is quite tough to call, however, with the recent Rat Beastmaster thing that they showed off on Monday, I think they're actually going to move to a new location in the Ashways, and I think that is going to be Hive Secundus. I don't know what they're going to show off there, but I think that's going to be the target. I think they're going to focus now on the next Hive. They have said they're going to go there, and perhaps it is going to be something along the lines of Genestealer cults. So maybe they get to this Hive and there's an absolute massive infestation. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is coming for Necromunda? And for the Horus Heresy, again, a tough one to call because they've said it's going to be an exciting teaser. Now, in that preview video that they did for 2024 where they showed off the silhouettes, they did show off what looks like a Mark III command squad. The other silhouette was the Solar Auxiliary, which we've already seen now in plastic. So I think perhaps they might show off the new Mark III command squad, or maybe some other marks of armour as well. So that's what I think could be teased for the Horus Heresy, or then again it could be something completely different. Again, let me know what you think in the comments could be coming for the Horus Heresy. And you'll notice I haven't covered Warcry or Warhammer Underworlds because, to be honest, for both of those I actually don't have a clue what could be coming. They did put a little bit of a teaser on the Warhammer community article that was talking about the Adepticon show, and it looked like some sort of Ossiarch Bone Reaper dog or cat or something, so maybe that might be something for Warcry or Underworlds, but I wasn't quite sure, so I thought there's no point going on and just guessing. But anyway, that is it for all the predictions and the leaks that we've seen last week. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments, so make sure you leave a comment, let me know what you think they might show off at Adepticon for all the various different game systems. And also, if you've not seen it, check out the Mohammer podcast. So if you don't know, I'm co-host of a new podcast called Mohammer that we film on Mondays. It usually goes out on a Tuesday, and in the most recent edition we were talking about Warhammer Age of Sigmar 4th edition and speculating on what could be coming, and we also had Tabletop Tom on there as a guest, and it was a pleasure having him on. It was great hearing his opinions on various things as well, so I'll leave a link in the description of this video to that podcast if you want to go and watch that. And also on my channel there's a section called podcasts, and you'll be able to find it there as well. But anyway, that's it. I've gone on long enough. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and if you didn't enjoy it, just do the usual, leave me a comment, let me know what you didn't like, and all that's left to say is thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.